Woof! Hello, everyone. Welcome to What's Sold in September, our Tuesday live hall pass with two dog sticks. That's it. That's me. No, that's me. That's me. That's Rick. And Rick isn't feeling that great today, so he's actually napping. But and unfortunately, Chris from Chris's Treasure Chest couldn't make it. Something came up for him, but no fear. We have the fabulous Carl, the lazy reseller.
Hey,
our fellow provincial companion.
awesome. Hey, everyone.
Thanks so much for joining us for our monthly review.
Yes.
How have you been lately? How's the month been going for you?
It was very good. I had a $300 US dollar return yesterday, but until that point, it was pretty good. Yeah, no, I can't complain. Sales are definitely, you can feel Q4. It's in the air, at least for me, and a few people have said the same thing. So
I'm actually seeing the same sort of thing too. I've started to see things tick up a little bit. I've seen a few people in some posts on the Boss group who are having a lot of issues with the new listing format.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I don't know if I was one of the, unless there's another new listing format coming out.
Yeah,
I think it's the one that I've been working on now for 6 or 7 months, and I don't see that big of an issue with it for me on eBay.
No, well, people don't like change.
Yeah, I think that maybe that's the issue. Is it's but overall, it has been the month has been improving. Yeah. We do have good stuff. Oh look! Oh my God, he awoke. Barely.
Thanks for fixing our technical issues.
You're welcome.
He actually had to wake up because once again, like last week, I had no sound. I couldn't hear a thing Carl was saying. So, but he's tired because we were away. Also on the weekend, we did another one of our thrifting trips to upstate New York, and we're driving around all day, like Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then back on Sunday. And so it was a fun trip. We had found some interesting stuff as well, but as I said, our sales are going okay so far. They've been peaking up a little bit. Oh, we did, looking even in September, I did see like a couple more Christmas ornaments because we have Hallmark stuff that we buy on off price, like after Boxing Day. A few more Hallmark sales, a few more presenty kind of things, a couple more Halloween things. So we've seen a few of those. And some other stuff that we'll go through today that's sort of just randomly out of the blue. So I'll say hello to those who've joined us today. We got a few people watching. Hey, Janet. Hello, Lisa. Heather. Heather was in North Carolina who got a lot of rain. Nothing else. Holly. Sherry. Nellie. Our eyes are crossed from listing all day. I don't know. I'm not ready for Q4. This is really terrible. We have got virtually none of our boxes out of our storage unit with our Christmas ornaments in them that have to be listed.
Oh,
and we bought more at the estate sale. So now we have like a lot of boxes. So it's going to have to be something that we do very soon. I don't know. Sherry took time from building her arc for tonight's show. Hey, Diana. David, hey, how you doing? Hello, Don. Alan, thanks for popping in again. Let's see what else we got.
Are they really building an ark, or is it just raining a lot?
Hi, Linda. Could be both. You never know. And yeah, for those of you who hopefully today, it's Tuesday, and hopefully you used your Canada Post free shipping Tuesday. I don't know if everybody used that, or did anybody? Carl, did you manage to use yours?
Both the American and the Canadian. Yeah. I saved at least $35, if not 40. So I'm happy.
We actually did too, Rick. What would you estimate? We had our Canadian, and we had a Canadian that sold on Sunday, and then we had like 5 things sell yesterday.
The little witch plates sold to Alberta, and it was 37.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because it was a heavier box, and the one going to the States worked out to be like 14 US plus the $1.40 chit chat, so another 20, so $55.
Yeah,
I'll take it. Money is always appreciated.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that that was costing that much to go to Alberta.
Well, we did charge $25 shipping because
Yeah, no, I know we did because it was heavy. I'm just trying to see if I can find them right now because, of course, there they are.
There's the max weights. I think it's 5 kilograms for Canada, 2 kilograms for the US.
Yep. And there are dimensional.
Yeah.
This was the item, the one that we showed actually in our Halloween show.
Yep.
That just sold. So this was the 222 plates. Remember 222 fifth plates? Haunted house. And so that set sold for $38.88 US to someone in Alberta who also paid $25 shipping on top of that. So the fact that we could actually use that on there, we might be nice dogs, and maybe we'll say, "Hey, we've saved $10 in shipping, so we'll give them a $10 rebate," because really, that's a lot of money that they pay.
Really nice of you guys. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Heather, no idea.
Heather's asking if we get a free day because postage usually sucks.
Yes.
No, actually, it's a promotion that Canada Post has been doing for the last 4 or 5
4 years. This is, I think, year 4.
And it's celebrating their small business their small business services account holders.
Yeah.
And they're trying to encourage them to use Canada Post more often. So giving them a free day or giving us a free item to be shipped for every Tuesday in the month of October is cool.
And the fact that they added the US this year was like a shock because it always used to be only Canada.
Yeah.
So Lisa used it for both. Dawn saved $57. Lisa Wallace used it for both. Lisa Bolin sent one to Fredericton and one to Alabama.
Cool.
Diana says her stores are still closed, so no shipping for me. Oh, her eBay stores are still closed because she had some work done. She had an operation that she's just getting back from that.
Allison
completely forgot she had a sale to Illinois and had a Poshmark, and they sent me the shipping label. Yeah. So Allison, the thing that would be, you'd only be able to use that, like, obviously not on Poshmark because Poshmark, they're buying and paying for the shipping labels, but Etsy sales, Facebook sales, Amazon, if you're fulfilled by merchant as opposed to fulfilled by Amazon, eBay, Craigslist, if you do it on there, Kijiji, any of those sort of places, you'd actually be able to figure that out. Is that something new? Yeah, most surprised that they include tracked US packaging. So I thought that was great. And then Adrian is going to say to you, Rick, you know what you're going to do. Doug is sitting between us. So Rick is in the basement, I'm here, and we have a split level house. So Doug is sitting between the 2 levels, and now he's barking at us. And Adrian said the reason he does that during the show is because he knows he's going to get cookies.
Yes, you taught him well.
So
I have to find a spray bottle.
Yeah, we have to find a little spray water bottle because all Adrian does now is holds it up, and Doug's like, he sprayed him once, and now he just Lisa thinks both of hers were 1.2 kilograms, one Etsy and one Kijiji. So yeah, so it's
family and friends.
And there's also, I mean, you can think about it if you got friends to send something to, anything along that sort of idea. One of the other things, and actually we saw somebody posting this in one of our Toronto Facebook groups we're in, which is like a giving away stuff for free. And somebody actually posted that they are trying to get books for some indigenous schools up in Nunavut. And so they are actually having people donate their code if they don't have anything to ship. So there you buy, like, they will package things up. They're packaging them up. They've got like 4 kilogram boxes of books. And they're messaging with people, and they showed a picture of like 9 boxes of books that are shipping for free that would have cost like $500 or $600 to get up there. So I thought that was a really interesting way too, to just go, oh, okay, like you're helping people in case, as opposed to Carl who's keeping all the money. Carl is keeping part of the money. I have also seen in a number of Canadian Facebook groups people posting, I have this for sale. It's free shipping Tuesday. The first person who like asks for it, who's in Canada or the US, gets this with free shipping kind of thing. So trying to push that sale by saying it's free shipping for you if you buy it from us today. So
but it's also nice that it is in October. So if you think about it and plan, you could be sending Christmas presents to somebody in Canada. Like I've got family out west, so I could, if we don't have a sale, I could pop something in a box and send it out to one of my relatives.
I don't buy Christmas presents till December 20th, but yes, that would be smart. And now I have to go do that too. Thanks a lot.
You don't have the cupboard full of gifts?
No.
You have inventory all around you.
Oh, right, yes. Yeah,
here, a pencil.
Camcorder.
A bag of pencils. One of these pencils is worth $50. You have to figure out which.
Allison is saying she's just starting on eBay and Poshmark and looking at doing Etsy. Just started and now have an eBay starter package to learn it, and it's been a plunge. Yeah, it is a bit of a plunge. Same kind of plunge like when we went into Depop or we went into Poshmark, which we actually dropped out of both of those because the Poshmark for us was too much sharing. Sharing is caring. It wasn't caring for us. It was like I've had enough of trying to figure out how to get my items in front of people.
I'd rather play Candy Crush.
He'd rather play Candy Crush than do that. So we basically have delisted our Poshmark store. I think if we did do Poshmark again, we might look at doing Poshmark US. And using a cross-border shipper to drop the package off. Now, if you do that, unfortunately, for those of us in Canada who want to try that, companies like Chit Chats don't allow you, most people, they don't allow all their newer sellers for the past 4 years to just use them as a drop, like to take stuff across the border. We've been on them for so long, we were grandfathered in with this, so we can buy our postage elsewhere and pay like the $1 to Chit Chats for that. But if you're new to Chit Chats, you have to buy your postage through them, so you can't do a Poshmark buy. But Stallion Express does allow you to do that, right, Rick?
Yeah, they allow you to buy third-party postage.
So you can buy your postage through them, or you can buy your postage through eBay. You can buy your postage through Poshmark. You can buy your postage through Pirate Ship, any USPS, anything you want, and pay just that. And the neat thing about Pirate Ship, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's a great, or for Stallion Express, it's a great opportunity. They have opened up broader locations in Southern Ontario, but they also have a location now in Vancouver, and they've opened a location, or they're opening a location in Montreal as well. So if you hadn't thought about them, take a look at them. And we usually have a code that's on our craft group that you can see, and it's actually on our YouTube description link. And actually, if you sign up for it, you get $25 in credit if you put $100 onto the thing for using them over time. So you can put $25 on it, or $100 on there, use it, and you get $25, and then we get $25 too. So it's nice that we both get the $25 for using it. We are not on Mercari because that is a challenge for us. We've been trying to figure out how to do it from Canada, but we haven't really figured out the right way to do it. It has to be done the same way as if you were doing Poshmark US. Paul just doesn't share on Poshmark. He just lists it and forget it items. Yeah, it would be nice. We did try some stuff. I'm actually going to show you something that was one of our for the month of September. We actually listed this item a while. It was sitting for a while on Poshmark. And I thought it was really cute. It was this really funky, like retro dress. We can see that it was by Hukilau Fashions in Honolulu. So it's like, oh wow, this is like very nice. Like everything about it, we thought, look at the back has this really funky button on it. Once you do the zippers up, so you must need help on that sort of thing. And we were thrilled. Like there's the base of it, and we thought this is great. We actually finally sold it on eBay, and we sold it for $49, and it took about 2.5 years. So it just sat there. It was our list it and forget it. And unfortunately, because we listed it and forgot it, we really didn't look at it again. and it went to Hawaii. And the person who got it said, "Do you know that this has been hemmed, stitched inside by like an inch? Something like that. All these alterations have been made to the outfit."
It was put through a, what are they? An overlock machine.
An overlock machine for the base. Like everything about it was like, oh.
If you zoom in on the photo at the very bottom of any of the long pictures, you can see the black overlock thread around the bottom. I thought that that was the way that it was made personally. So there you go.
Yeah, so did I. Like, I gotta get that down here. There we go. Down. That's what you're talking. Down, right down at the bottom there.
Yeah, along the edge. It's a black overlock stitch.
But it wasn't. So something that we had up for 2.5 years that we never really took another close look at because we have not necessarily been great at doing fashion, selling fashion. We buy it, we just don't sell it. We just throw it in tubs. We actually had to take this as a return. So it cost us the like $8 to get it sent to Hawaii. And then we had to cost us another $8 to get it back sent back to us from Hawaii. And so we gave the $49. Now it was a $1 or $2 outfit when we picked it up, but still now it's a $16 to $18 outfit. So it's like, I'm not sure what we're going to do with something like that, but it is a thing to say, take a little closer look. If you are venturing into something like clothes, that you've got to think a little bit more about them. Allison saying she sold on Facebook Marketplace since 2009 and selling on eBay only since August and had 16 sales and only 66 listings. That's really good. That's great, Allison. You're doing tremendous.
And hopefully the shipping is becoming less complicated for you.
Yeah, increase the price, relist it, and mention that it's been hemmed. Like,
take better pictures of the hem at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right, here's what
we've got. I mean, the person was very nice. They didn't give us negative feedback or anything like that. So we're happy about that, like for something that we got.
Yeah, Craig was concerned that they kept on saying mahalo in the messages.
Yeah. And I was like, well, that could be, that doesn't each word mean like 20 things in Hawaii? Like, does this time that they wrote mahalo mean F you? And the next time they wrote mahalo, it means liar. And the next, like, what does each one mean? Oh my God. Anyway. And then I also wanted to show you something that we bought that people laughed at us a little bit when I said that we bought it. And it was a batch of doll eyelashes. If you remember, we went to this one thing and it was in the basement of this house that we bought all this Barbie stuff at. I found a box that was filled with doll eyelashes, and it was like, oh my God, what are you doing with this box of doll eyelashes? And it had probably, I don't know, about 400 or 500 of these little plastic doll eyelashes in it like this. And it was just like one after the other, little things of doll. Well, I decided to try and sort them out. When I sorted them out, I found a bunch of things that were like only one or two of a kind sort of thing. And so I threw them into some lots, and we actually sold 2 different lots for almost, I think, $12.50 for one and $10 for the other. Yep. The box cost us $10.
Yeah.
So now we still have about 400 or so lots of eyelashes. But at least I know that a mixed lot sells. Like, I could put together mixed lots now, and both of those sold in under a month. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things like, well, it's not really for drag queens. It's more for drag queen dolls because they're like tiny. They're like tiny little lashes. I think, I don't know. It rubs the mascara on its eyelashes. The rest it gets the hose. Did we try the dress under Black Knight? No, I don't think we did.
I did not. But again, we're getting the dress back. So when I'm redoing the photos, I will take one under Black Light, and hopefully it glows in the dark and will justify the increase in price.
Yeah. So, but again, I just wanted to show you something like that. That's to show you stuff that we bought that's a little out of our comfort zone that we've sold. And Carl and I were actually talking about this, and we're going to talk about it a little later on after we talk about our souls. It's like, how do we get out of our comfort zones a little bit and figure out something to buy that we may not normally end up buying. So, but let's start with some of our sales for the month of September. As Carl and I both said, we're doing okay in September. We've seen our sales grow a little bit from where they were, and here is one of Carl's first sales.
So when I picked the solds for this month, I didn't want to re-show the same stuff I show every month. Like you've seen cameras, toner, you show the same thing over and over again. It gets kind of boring. So this one is a little different. These wind-ups for SLR cameras, the old vintage cameras, can have value. And often you'll see these in lots. I'm not saying you're going to get rich off of these. I'm just saying that if you see these really cheap, because often like people will just get rid of all their camera stuff, which isn't like the camera, it's just, all the extras. If you see a few of these rewinders, it might be worth picking them up.
Okay, what does it actually do?
It rewinds the film in the camera.
Like it attaches to the camera?
Yeah. And then
rewinds the old school film.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just something different, And this was a local sale to actually a business. And it kind of reminded me that, I don't know if you guys have business cards, but I was thinking I should be throwing business cards in these local sales. Why aren't I doing this? And this kind of reminded me of that as well, of how I find a lot of the people who do really good in this, the private picks that you get from networking is really some of the best stuff you can do. And for me, throwing those business cards in there, I should be doing it so easy. So that I wanted to show that sale for that reason too.
That is interesting because I've thought about that too. It's like I've got somebody who's been connecting with me recently who we met at a Max Sold pickup at our place, and they were like, they messaged me going, I got a bunch of stuff I want to get rid of.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. But the thing is, what they want to get rid of is not expensive things. It's like they have like 30 cross pen lots, and I said, well, that they're only like worth $5 to $10 each, and they're like, well, I just want to get rid of them. So it's like, whether I don't want to sell them on consignment because
I wouldn't do consignment anymore.
No, but if they wanted to get rid of them, we might end up figuring out a way to put a package together. But this is somebody who we met in May, and they just finally messaged me in September saying, hey, I remember we met, and I have a bunch of stuff I want to sell.
That's hard. That's why I haven't done a lot of private picks. It's hard to tell people that something isn't worth what they think it is.
Yeah,
it's part of it. But people have home runs that way too, or you get further business on. So, but yeah, it's hard. It's definitely a hard aspect of the business. I'm not a natural at it either. So, some people are though. They're great.
So Paul has actually said to put the eyelashes on with your googly eyes, Rick, and you haven't thought about that, but we have 400 pairs of them, so maybe you will do that to something in the future.
Sure.
Heather's asking why we didn't say keep the dress. We actually did. They didn't want it. They said it doesn't fit me. There's no use for it at all, so I'd rather return it. And we actually have had a couple returns that have been like that, where people have said, no, I do not want to keep this. They feel guilty about it. We've refunded all their money, and they almost get mad that they're not sending it back. And I find that a little strange. I try to explain it as, well, I don't want you to send it back because it's going to cost me more money to get it sent back. It's a $15 item that costs $15 to send you.
Yeah.
I'm refunding you the $30, but I don't want to spend another $15 getting it back because it's going to cost me that too much money. And it's taken me I have to go into a big explanation on it. So, Elisa was quoting your Thrift Hall of Fail that puts the lotion on skin. Lisa's revenue is up 90% in the last 30 days. Yay. Oh, thanks to the Queen, because she does have a lot of royal stuff. That's really great. I actually, after she passed, I was thinking I passed up so much royal stuff over the past year that was like $1.99 or $1 or a quarter at a garage sale. It's like, why did I pass it all up? Now I don't want to buy any of it.
She doesn't photograph well, so.
Now, I'm not sure where the conversation went off for this, but it's like, this is obviously things you don't buy. Precious moments. Presidential plates.
Yes, you were talking about things that people have that have no value.
Oh.
So.
Dolphins you would put in, yes.
I don't know. That's the wrong spelling. I don't know what the spelling
Bob is good at telling people their stuff is crap.
Yeah. What I find hard is those huge stamp collections. I'm not going to that stamp collection. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and actually, I've done that too. I tell them to donate it. I've actually said to Heather's saying the same thing. I've told people that they should donate it to. Sorry, she double checked. 109%. any collector plates. Well, actually, there's a couple of collector plates that can be worth a lot of money. So it's always one of those things you have to check, because we sold a set of Panda plates only about 2 years ago for almost $800, and we sold a set of Russian plates for almost $500, and both of them were picked up at estate sales for virtually nothing. So there's only a couple of those plate things that we were at. And we were at a big, huge estate sale on the weekend that had probably, I don't know, 200, 300, 400 plates at it, Rick.
Oh, yeah. I was giving him the stink eye the entire time we were walking through that one.
I was trying to look up some of well, I don't know why. I don't think we bought anything out of it.
No, and I dislike packing plates.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he keeps buying them, so.
No, but these were collector plates. These were all that that house.
Yeah.
I know, but well, okay, you were okay.
That's what I said in the last show. If you buy a plate, you're gonna have to pack it yourself.
Yeah. Well, we went from that. I'm going to show you did that, and so I just thought, well, again, I'm going to show you something else that's time, like in terms of the time wise. We just showed you this, and actually, this just sold really fast. The cat trick or treat thing, because of Halloween coming up, and one of the, again, I'm trying to show you some things as well that we've shown you we bought, and just to show you that they actually have sold. That one sold for $20, which was right at the area I expected it to sell at. So we're quite happy about the fact that that ended up selling for $20. Every once in a while, though, you actually get something that takes a long time, and you debate, what do I do? Why do I do? Why hasn't this sold? And this is something we had for a long time. I found this for $7.99, and it is actually a Japanese Transformer set, and everything is still in the packages. Like, nothing has been taken out of the packages, and this is like, it is such an amazing thing, and every single thing is in Japanese on it. It's like, oh my god, this, I had to pick it up when I found it for the $7.99, and I could not find this in I had to do a lot of research, probably a half an hour, an hour's worth of research, trying to find this item because of the language issue. Google Translate didn't necessarily help me too much. I finally found it, and found that only one had sold in like the past 2 to 3 years. I think I found on WorthPoint, and it had sold for like almost $250. So I decided I was going to list ours, and I had it listed for quite a while at $345 US plus $20 shipping. And it actually sold. I had offers come in on it every once in a while. About every 3 months, I'd see you can send an offer. So I didn't have best offer on it. I just waited to see if someone had watched it. And like Takara from 2000, it's such a cool little set with everything being I honestly thought it would sell within 2 months. Well, 2.5 years later, it finally sold. It didn't sell for the $345. It sold for, I think, $275 US, which I was still very happy to have got on a $7.99 investment. But sometimes it takes a while to do it. And I did originally try and auction it, and did it at the $2.99, and that didn't get anybody doing anything on it. So it was interesting. Don's got a comment on the site. Did you list the Moorcroft?
So I have a critical path issue with the Moorcroft. I mean, for Rick to list his pumpkin, so I have that as my excuse. So no, I haven't listed it yet. I can blame Rick.
Yep.
Well, you can blame Craig because he hasn't made it go live yet. It's ready to go.
Yes. Okay.
What?
It's ready to go.
Your pumpkin.
It is. By the way.
No, you said you were going to bleach the pumpkin.
Oh, you want me to try?
You said you were going to do that. This is the Panda plates.
These are the Panda plates that we sold. I can't find our listing exactly. It's
crazy.
One of the $700 or $800 ones.
Let's go up a bit. No, I think that's ours there. The $890. No, that's 22. That's 2022. So these are selling even this year for $900. Ours
Yeah.
is
So if you're at an estate sale
Yeah.
and you
see that?
happen to see these panda plates
Yeah.
and they are reasonably priced,
click on the. Can you click on that second picture? Will it let you do that, Rick?
this one?
Yeah. The pandas of Wu Xiron.
I'll remember the pens for sure.
I mean, again, it's something that you wouldn't necessarily think that anybody, like limited edition to 5,000. But yeah, when we saw those, I remember we actually,
We went out into the car.
this was one where they were sitting on, is this the one they were sitting on the piano, or was that the Russian ladies?
No, it was sitting on the piano.
So this was sitting on the piano, and 5 of the 6 had boxes and 1 didn't. And they wanted, I think, originally like $10 per plate.
Yeah.
And I looked at them, and we walked back into the car, got in the car, and I looked them up, and then I was like, "Holy shit!" Then I said to Rick, "I got to go back in there." So I went back in, and I was like, "Oh, my husband really wants them, and it's your last day. Is there anything better you can do?" And I think we ended up getting them for like $25 for the lot.
Yeah.
Because the one had no box.
Yeah, that was the sticking point. This one doesn't have a box. We're gonna have to.
Yeah, that's why I don't think. But I think he really like it was just play it up so much, and it's like yeah, get rid of them. We don't want them. They're the only things left here that are like so. And no, they're not typical, but that's just it. There's always a couple of non-typical plates that could actually get you a little bit of money. Oh no, that's because I realized I cursed. Usually, I try very much not to curse, especially on our YouTube show.
Did you curse?
Because I don't want it to be flagged. I said the S word. So, Carl, you talking about things that you haven't shown before. This is something that was interesting that you sent.
Okay, I got this for free, which is nice. So sometimes the thrift stores here in Ottawa will just give away books because they get so much. So this was after a really bad day of finding nothing after going to like 5 thrift stores. So I picked up this box, and the second I saw that there was a UFO in the front, I knew that there was a chance it has value because people collect these old UFO books. And this one's in pretty poor condition. And
yeah, I mean, you got great photos there.
Yeah.
Like showing the flaws in the condition. You've got really good photos.
I always try to make sure if there's, especially with a rip like that.
Yeah.
So
even the end is very clear to be able to see that.
And my hands are there. Sorry, Rick.
That's fine. I don't mind hands in pictures as long as the nails are clean.
Oh, that yeah. But yes, and it was just fun and different. And I'm into UFOs. I like that stuff. So I didn't read it, but I can understand the appeal.
And you sold it for $25.
Yeah, pretty quick too. I think that sold within a week.
Yeah, they've sold for as high as 70.
Yeah, this was in such poor condition that I went low on it on purpose because it was important.
Free to $25. I'd take it.
Can't complain.
Well, and speaking of that, you also sent this.
Right, this is from my childhood, and the reason I wanted to show this is so my parents gave me all my old books from when I was a kid, and I was surprised. You know, you talk about these children book series that you pick up, right?
Yep.
And of course, I had a whole bunch of the Blue Hardy Boys books that had none of them have value. But what was funny is the Alfred Hitchcock ones actually can have a lot of value, and this is soft cover.
It looks so much like a Hardy Boys book.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you can just tell probably the same artist. But if they're hardcover ones, they're like 50, 60, 70 bucks. I was shocked. And so I just wanted to show that because, you know.
But still, $22?
Yeah, not bad for soft cover. Because normally you don't get a lot for the soft covers.
Diana has the 3 Investigator series. At least as I read the Hitchcock, I should have kept that.
Wow. Hold on a second, Craigie. Check this out.
At least I thought it was Hardy Boys.
Check this out.
23 hardback Alfred Hitchcock, the 3 Investigators first editions, $768.
Yeah.
I probably have passed those up.
Yeah,
I have probably passed up those Alfred Hitchcock things, thinking they're not the Hardy Boys.
This is also a mixture of first editions,
Yeah.
library books, and trade publications. So they're not all first edition. It's not even the same edition, which is kind of cool. Anyway,
Dang, the nicer way of swearing. Dang.
I thought you might like that just because I found it.
No, that is really neat. Now, the funny thing was, interesting funny, is that I get these today from Carl, and on the weekend, we were at a garage sale. And at this garage sale, it was we went to this garage sale, and it was one of those things where, like, down the one street we're seeing, okay, here's the garage sale. And I said, oh, we've been to that one before. We got a couple of interesting things, but they're there every couple of weeks. They do it because they're dealers who also go to flea markets, but we find some interesting stuff at it. And while we're there, we see that there's a little tiny sign that says another one for moving, and it's like I said, okay, let's go visit the second one further down. And we're driving, and I'm saying, far down.
Weekend for garage sales, more than likely. So,
oh, it was terrible. Yeah, there were only like 20 garage sales in all of the Buffalo area too, because of the cold.
Yeah.
And we're driving, and I kept going, where the hell is this on the map? It looks so close.
that stuff
on our GPS, and we end up, and then it's like turn, and it's like in and in and in, and this tiny little thing. And it's a garage, and I can see from the garage, I'm looking at going, crap, it just looks like a bunch of crappy records. And so I said, well, we already drive all the way in. No, nothing. There was no, it was not that bad. We drive all the way in, and there literally were like rows and rows of boxes of DVDs, CDs, records, old magazines, everything like that. And so we're looking at stuff, and one of the first things I see is this stack of boxes, and this is the stack of boxes. It is all old detective stories. Kill me tomorrow. 3 boxes. For $20.
For how much?
$20.
Oh yeah. Okay. I would get that just to learn.
For all 3 boxes of these. And it's like, I brought some of, where did I put them? I brought some. It's just funny that, some of them like aren't necessarily worth anything. Like there's by Gypsy Rose Lee. Yes, the stripper, Gypsy Rose Lee. Mother Finds a Body. That's actually one of the books that's in there. Mother Finds a Body by Gypsy Rose Lee. It's not actually worth a lot of money. A number of pulp fiction books. Yes, a ton of them. And it was, again, $20 for this entire box. And I just had to show you, this was one of the first ones that I saw. I don't know why my face went straight to this as the one first thing that I saw was, who killed Dr. Sex? And I said, I have to buy this for a whole box for $20 because now I need to know who killed Dr. Sex. Like, it was just, I love the looks of those. And then there's actually a number of, so this is the thing, I'm going to be able to put these, Elise has got it right, let me entertain you. Put these into, there's a few Carter Brown mysteries in there. There are the number of books by this guy, Wade Miller, that I've never heard of. And again, I love the covers of these. The Tiger's Wife, a novel of soul-devouring woman by the author of The Killer. An original novel, not a reprint. And the artwork.
Yeah, it's the time period.
That's also by Wade Miller there. The Deadly Weapon, Murder at the Burlesque.
I see a theme with these books so far.
Perry Mason mystery, The Case of the Glamorous Ghost by Earl Stanley Gardner. Now, again, I have to look these up. I did look a few of them up, and some of them are $6, $7, $8 books, but $20 for the lot of them. While we were there, we also managed to pick up about 10 records. If I find a book about sexy librarians, you bet I will let you know. I don't know if it's the same guy who wrote that. But Lisa said she bought 139 Royal books for 150 on the Canadian on the weekend. Sold 3 and paid for the whole lot. But yeah, so I just thought those were interesting. It was funny that Carl sends pictures of an Alfred Hitchcock book and a UFO book, and this weekend I don't know how many there were in there, Rick, too. It's like probably
a
100,
125,
something like that. And so we got those, but not only
heavy
that,
enough to be 500. But
they had a ton of really interesting DVDs. And so I picked through them and some of the DVDs because I always look for the weird titled DVDs. So I picked through and grabbed, these are all sealed DVDs. The Beast from the Haunted Cave, Phantom Planet. Because these are all sealed.
Yeah.
Horrors of the Black Museum. These are all $1 a piece. Robot Monster in fabulous 2D. What the heck is 2D? Isn't that just regular film?
Yeah.
2D? The Mysterious Mr. Wong with Bela Lugosi. And then this one, which I thought was really wild. John, Paul, Tom, and Ringo. The Tomorrow Show with Tom Snyder. And it actually is it's like he did interviews with John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and Ringo Starr, and it's his interviews with them. And again, that's sealed, is it? So all of these were $1. I got a couple more of these too. I just wanted to show you those. He also had a stack of magazines. Now, I paid a little bit for this stack of magazines, but you can probably guess why I decided to pay for this stack of magazines. So this is all what I thought would be a complete bust of driving an extra 15 minutes. All of these came from the same place. Rick, you're looking up something?
I was looking up the Tomorrow Show.
I haven't looked it up. Is that even worth getting? $28 Canadian? Well, that's fine. Yeah. That more than pays for those. But this is the other things I said. I think you'll understand. I could not pass these up.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Monster Mania.
Yeah.
I've never actually heard of this Monster Mania magazine before. There's quite a few issues of that. Monster World. And actually a thing that I used to read when I was a kid. One of my favorite magazines. Famous Monsters of Filmland. Like that is actually going to be a perfect thing to put up for this holiday season. Look at the masks you can fix. Oh my God. Another Monster World. Another Famous Monsters. I think I might have had that one as a kid. All of these. Modern Monster. Shriek. Now, he had more of these that I did actually look up that had. He had quite a few that he'd cut the covers out of them. Here, this part off.
Oh.
He wanted $10 a piece. And I was like, I can't do that, but I'm getting all these books from you. So he said $5 each. So I did. I went a little expensive, but I paid $60 for these. So my total spend with him was around $100. And there's a couple of the magazines Rick's just showing you there and he actually said, "Oh, I know, I've looked these up on eBay and they're like $15 to $25 magazines." So that's like $15 to $25 magazines that's fine.
Yeah, the piece, that's great. That's good.
$5 a piece. And again, I probably will read most of these before they actually put them up for sale for sure. Lisa's saying the cut ones were returns from a store. You send back the header for a credit.
Well, this guy might have had a collectible store.
He might have with all the
very
stuff.
Very knowledgeable about every record that Craig picked up, and he pointed out some track or some bizarre fact.
Oh yeah, we bought him a record. We got some records too. So one of the records we bought was by, I think it was called like the Buffalongos.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I went, what a name, and we're in Buffalo. So I just jokingly said, "Oh, look, the Buffalongos." And the first thing he said to me was, they are the group that I think he said wrote and originally recorded "Dancing in the Moonlight," the famous song that became a more famous by when it was done by another band. He goes, "This is the original," and he goes, "And that's on this record." And I was like, "Okay, we'll grab that for $1 too." So it was a fun, like 30, 45 minutes that we spent there with what we were looking at. And again, I'm going to make the $100, no problem on all of that. So, but they were moving, and that's why they're downsizing. We left 95% of the stuff that they had there. Like they had at least another 500 CDs that we didn't pick up any of the CDs. They had another probably 200 plus. I just didn't want to spend more and more and more time there because we could have probably spent a lot more time in that at that place, but it was just like too much. But again, it was just interesting. Carl sends us a paperback. The first time he ever sent us a paperback, and this weekend I buy a ton of paperbacks.
Cool. That would be a good contact because he might actually know that if he sold them before, he would know that you need a low buying price.
Yeah, that's another thing that I never do that I probably should is say, here's my card. If you don't get rid of any of the rest of this, give us a call and we'll come down and pick it all up. And I would say we'd come down from Toronto and we'll pick it all up from you if you give us a bulk price and we can get rid of it all. Yeah. I never even thought of that till this second.
Well, I had the same situation today, so it happened.
What was yours today?
I talked to random people, and this guy had a good camera in the lineup, and I can't help but talk to people. And he says, "Oh yeah, I don't sell on eBay. I just do this. I can't get the same amount on the local stores that I can for eBay." I should have said, "Well, I'll buy it from you," but I just didn't. I always feel awkward. It feels like I don't want them to get the impression I'm talking to them just to try and business wise. I'm just talking because I like to talk, but. You have to. I think we have to kind of realize too that sometimes people just want to get rid of stuff too.
Yeah,
and they don't care as much. But those opportunities come up all the time, and I just go, think about them later.
Yeah, that's always an issue. But every once in a while, you think about something that you actually do decide to buy, and you manage to sell it. And that's next on Carl's list. He's got a little Kit Kat.
Oh, little kitty.
Kitty.
I wanted to show it because it was so cute.
Itty bitty kitty.
Did I need any more than that? And this is one of the very first things I bought when I bought it at auction, and he got a huge 10 or 15 boxes full of stuff like this for $15, and boxes and boxes, and like you've been talking about a lot lately, Google Lens saved my butt because there's no way I could have figured out what this little thing is, and $27.
Yeah.
That more than double paid for 1,000 items.
Yeah. So, and that is, and it's from Lady and the Tramp, and it's the Si and Am were the Siamese cats in Lady and the Tramp.
So you never know with these little figures, and Google Lens is so good for this stuff.
Can you take a quick look at Doug, Rick?
I'm ignoring him.
I know, but can you take a quick? He's getting a bit more barky. Can you go and bring him downstairs with you or something, please?
I will go stare at him and yell at him.
Thank you.
I just wanted to show this because there was a cat and I thought it was cute.
Well, no, and you sold it for $27, and I don't have the exact same thing as a cat, but I do have a bunny.
Yeah.
And this was a bunny that I picked up again. This was at another estate sale, and the funny thing was, most of the stuff you'd think would be expensive. This was actually the tag. Wow. And so with a tag like that, it didn't have a price on it. And I was like, oh, crap on earth. I'm never going to get this for good money. Yeah, and it had some extra stitching at the back here where it had been restitched.
Yeah.
And its ears were not the cleanest looking. Like this, I'm sure they're supposed to be white. But the interesting thing was it had a cardboard face, it was cardboard.
Pressed cardboard.
Okay. And so we listed this for $75, and it sold in about a month and a half.
Nice.
And we did look at other thumpers.
Yeah.
And it's just we could not find in Worth Point or in the past year on Terapeak or the past 90 days on eBay anything that had this paper kind of face. So the cardboard face, and again, one of the things we always try and do is keep it so that in our title that's up here for everybody to see, we try and make sure that we're putting something that we think is very important right up front there. And so in this case, we wanted cardboard to be in our first 5 words, because if we just put Walt Disney Thumper plush, like it wouldn't necessarily stand out. If someone's searching Thumper, then this is going to come up. If somebody's searching Disney Thumper, this will come up. If somebody searches Gun Thumper, this will come up. But when it comes up, we want to watch those first 5 keywords that people see. It's the glance at them. And then again, what we do, our little sort of cheat, is I always do most of it. I see people that do everything in lowercase, everything screaming in uppercase, but I don't. Actually, that's very true. I didn't put the word rabbit or bunny in there. I don't think I couldn't fit it in when I tried to do it. I think it might be in the. No, I didn't. I completely missed rabbit and bunny. But I didn't think. I thought if somebody's looking this up, they're looking it up under a thumper. As Lisa's mentioning. So we got great feedback for it. But again, this is my key, is like doing something like the word thumper that way. When I look at something like the eyelashes, I didn't do it in, but in the Hawaiian thing, do I do it in there? No, I could have probably done the hukilau, because that's been a while since that's been up and listed. But it's just my little tip that it's like, try and look at your title. And I was looking at something that we're actually selling right now that is arbitrage. So it's something that we're buying at Toys R Us, and we're flipping it right now for like $15-20 profit on it. And everybody else's listings that we're listing in there, everybody else is listing them with the title the same way, which is like Fisher Price, blah, 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 blah. And then like a place at the 2022. And then the last thing in their keyword is like Dora the Explorer. And I just flipped it on its head and said, if Fisher Price doesn't need to be the first 2 words someone's looking up. Like, so I flipped my title around so it hasn't done anything. So it's a little different. And we've actually sold 8 of this item in the past 6 days.
Yeah. I always forget about it.
Not even the lowest. So
yeah, that's good.
It's just something else to keep your eye out for.
And that takes practice, because I've been trying to be better at putting the best words at the front. But even then, I always forget. Like, people, are they think about what they're going to type when they're looking? Yeah.
That's the hardest one that I have trouble with.
Yeah.
Trying not to put vintage in the front. And like the hukilau dress is a perfect example of that, is like vintage.
Me too. I try not to put vintage in it.
I try my darndest not to have that as the very first word, but sometimes it's in there. Yeah. Last but not least, I just wanted to chat about one other thing, which is something else that we bought. And people were asking about this because I asked the question in Craft, the Canadian or Crazy Resellers and Fantastic Thrifters group in Facebook. If you're not a member there, please feel free to join us over there as well. And one of the things that we also found this weekend, this was at a mall that we were at, was this big box of labels. And it is filled with all these different kinds of labels, from tomato plants, cigars, like all sorts of different things that were in this huge box. Brussels sprouts, and we looked at this one box that was there, and this is the cardboard box that it was, and we walked by it, and it was at this one place, and we thought, it was inside a glass case, and it was priced at $75 inside the glass case, but it was a 20% off weekend. And so I said to Rick, I want to look at this, and he's like, no. He's like, no, we're not looking at that.
Yep.
And, right?
Yep.
And then it was like, well, we finished them all, and it's closing in 15 minutes. So before it closes, I want to go back and look at this. So we go back. He goes, we go back and look at it. And I pick up a couple of the stacks, and they're literally like 20 and 30 of each of these things thick. Mm-hmm. So when you look at a picture that looks like this, and you're seeing that. That's not one of these Perfecto Garcia Havana things. This is like 15 or 20.
Mm-hmm.
And the one behind it here for the tomatoes, I think there's, you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but that's just stack of them.
Yeah.
There's probably like another 15, 20 of those, probably 40 of those. And so I looked at them and I said, well, with something like that, I'm sure it's 20% off. It's $62 US. Should we get them? Well, I posted in the craft group to see if what people thought about whether they thought we should get this entire box for $65. And pretty well every single person said yes. A couple of things which I hadn't really thought about too much, but it was good that they actually asked the question. Dawn, who's here, asked the question. Lisa Bolin, who's here, asked the question as well. And somebody else asked the question as well. Were they repros? And they were not repros. I asked, how do you define if something's a repro? Is whether or not it's a peel and stick or whether it has the actual glue on the back. These all have the glue on the back. And the reason that we got them is there's probably at least 250 to 300 labels sitting inside here. And I want to remind people why you look up something like this. If you've never thought about a box like this and it's been sitting there and you see it in some estate sale, you see it at a garage sale, we picked up stuff. And this is the reason I'm bringing it up is this is actually one of our regular sales. This is sets of corn syrup and honey things. We bought a bag of this. And the bag of this we got at I think it was at Brimfield Flea Market like 4 or 5 years ago. There are probably about 1,000 plus labels that we got, and these are tiny little labels.
I think they reproduce.
Yeah, it seems like they're constantly reproducing, and we have sold 17 of these in the past year for $10 a pop.
Mm-hmm.
With zero shipping. Now I know. No, this actually is $3.50 shipping. This is one of our multiple lots that are label lots like this. So let me get a better picture of you holding them up. This is the stack. This is how many we still have left.
Yeah. It's like
so.
Yeah, it's a great buy. Yeah.
And with that, I mean, if you look at it, we're not our actual lot is only 16 labels.
Yep.
So we're doing like 3 of one, 2 of another, 3 of one, 2 of another.
Yeah.
And
when I have an extra 5 minutes and I notice we're running low, I put together 2 or 3 so that they're ready to go.
Smart.
So that's the reason that we picked up this lot, was simply because we could not pass by the possibility that there may be a few $100 or more in there. And yeah, they aren't yellow at all. None of our things have actually been yellow. Heather still wouldn't have got them. Yeah, so it's just an interesting thing that you might have not thought of before. And one of the reasons it's nice to see when you do buy something though, and we list it in craft, and it's like yes. Everybody's like a yes on that except for Heather. Everybody else is a yes. So I want to remind people at this point, those of you who are in the chat, if you are in craft, please feel free to post. I mean, we seem to be posting a lot of the content that's in there, but I'd love to see you guys posting things in there that say like, what would you have thought of this? Like your own thrifter to throw it, or look what I bought, look what I sold. That's one of the reasons that we keep craft going as well, is we want to see other people helping with like posting about their finds and their sales and the things along those lines as well. Yeah, and that's just it. Dawn saying she would have bought them. Well, Dawn does postcards, but they're easy to store and ship and take up hardly in any space. So she loves paper stuff. So, speaking of this, and Carl actually had that. We alluded to it a little earlier because we're at our hour now. One of the things that we want to try and figure out is some of the stuff that you guys think that you may want to learn more about or branch out about. And basically, I'll throw it to Carl. It's like, so what was it you were saying, Carl? You buy. And you said it almost with this when you sold. You buy the same thing.
Yeah. So I think a lot of us, we get stuck into our little habits. So, I'm always selling toner and cameras and, the same stuff over and over again. So I always thought it might be interesting just to pick an item type and spend the next month and see if we can find, when we're doing a thrifting, and it'd be an item type we don't normally pick up, and see if we can find something special in that item type, and just compare after a month what we picked up, what we've learned, and if anyone else from the forum would be interested in sharing, if they decide to go for the same type of item, what they found, and they would be shared on the show. That's basically it. Just to force us to kind of get outside our comfort zone of the same thing every time.
Yeah, and I guess that part of it too is like, if we challenge to do something like that, it doesn't become, it's kind of a different kind of thrift store challenge. It doesn't become something where we talk about things when we talk about the thrifted or throw it's, and we talk about in what's sold, but we don't know whether a lot of people are actually taking that and moving forward with that and actually trying to find some of those things. So it's interesting. It's like, there's things that you've talked about, Carl, that we've actually started thinking about looking at a little more, like the toner that we had last week in the Thrifted or Throw It. I never would have looked at toner if it hadn't have been for you. I'm glad I didn't buy it. You said not to. I did the looking up of the comps. So that's one of the things that is like, okay, I want to start thinking about that. So we also wanted to find out, that's one thing. And we're going to post that in the craft group. We're going to come up with like a category, and it might be a category every 2 weeks or so. That'll be something that we'd like to see what you can find in this category. And Carl said the very first one, so we're going to post this later tonight or tomorrow, and it'll be, our challenge will be in the first 2 weeks is, even if you do buy them, we want to see what you can find. If you've sold them, this is great. We want to see what you can find in bed linens, in sheets, and something that you may not have thought about looking at before. You may never go to that section of the store. You may be a guy and you think, I don't go to fabric or sheets or any of those things. But we want you to take a look in the sheets and literally see what you can find in the sheet section that you can flip. So I don't know if you put a little comment down here. Tell me right now, have you never done it before? Never done sheets? Or you tried them before? I'd love to know that. But it's some people, dozens of vintage sheets, but she hardly lists any. And we have some as well. Adrian, I think you sold a sheet? I'm not sure.
No, Monster High dolls.
Oh, Adrian buys Monster High dolls with shoes because of our video. So so that's and sold one. And yes, Alina, I love all the posts that you do on Thrift Hall of Fame. We'd like to see more posts as well on the other thing. What can you find between the sheets? Lisa does well with pillowcases. But that's going to be our first challenge. We're going to challenge everybody to find something in the sheets, twin size, full size, king size, queen size. It doesn't matter. We want you to look in the sheet section when you're going to the garage sales, when you're going to thrift stores, especially. There's usually 2 or 3 rows of them in most of the stores. And they're not necessarily expensive, but they do take a little bit of looking up. So try and figure out what it is we'll try and figure out even how to teach you a little bit about those in the craft group as well. So that'll be our first challenge. And then one other thing that we want to find out, is there something more? Yeah, we actually passed up some really neat sheets this weekend because they were overpriced. They were all sealed. Yeah. But they wanted way too much money for them because they don't necessarily flip. Some can flip for good money, especially cartoon sheets and things like that. If you can find Star Wars sheets or things like that.
Or old designer
patterns go for really good money. But we always find the sealed packages. So it's a lot of stuff that's been donated, which is a sealed package of Wamsuda or things like that. And it's like, we look some of them up and they sell for $15. So you don't want to buy them for $7.99 if they only sell for $15. But we've also sold Jetsons. Was it the Jetsons, I think? Was it, Rick? No, what was it? It was, oh my God, we sold 3 Tom and Jerry sheets to Japan.
Oh, I remember those.
2 years ago or so, and they were selling for $100 for a twin size. One twin size sheet was $100, and we sold like 3 of those. So look at something like that and see if you can find some sheets. But tell us also the one other thing, and we'll put this in the craft as well as one of the posts for this week, something that you'd like to learn about, because we need to fill in every week with what we're going to be talking about on our live hall pass. And Carla and I want to learn some stuff. We don't want to have to do all the work, but we That's great.
I think it'd be great just to learn a new category, but it sounds like
Looking at learning new categories is something that I think all of us need to always expand where we're going. I cover off, like right now, I'm avoiding shoes and clothing, but I cover off pretty well every other section of a thrift store now when I walk through it. But this will be our first challenge, and we'll have other challenges too that come up like that. So,
we're also being very, very selective about what we buy.
Yeah,
trying to get that higher value, lower cost, higher average value. We may even have an arbitrage challenge to see like what is something that you can find. That's very hard to teach about vintage doll clothes.
Soldiers there.
Yeah, that's Adrian. Yeah. I don't know if he needs to be taught about those, or if do you keep those or you sell those?
Those are mine.
Those are his. Okay.
Whenever I find them, I like them.
What deters me is the photos, but sealed would be all right. Oh,
photos of sheets.
Yeah. So that may be something that we talk about we'll talk a little bit more about linens for the month of October in craft. So thanks for taking a look at it. Carl, thank you so much for sharing some of your solds from us with us this week. Sorry Chris couldn't make it. He'll be in a future show. And Carl, I'm going to drag his butt back onto the show in the next few weeks as well to try and help us fill in our little hour of our live hall pass. Keep an eye open. Next Tuesday, we want to hopefully see that you've used your Tuesday free shipping coupons as well. Remember, family, friends, post about it in a Facebook group that's something you've got to sell, even a US group. If you can sell it and somebody can wait till next Tuesday, sell it tomorrow. Tell them to wait till next Tuesday and they get it for free shipping. It might make you flip something that you never thought you were going to flip. I'm actually going to do that in a couple of the Canadian Facebook groups that I belong to. That's like, well, I'm going to put this in a Canadian Facebook group because I don't normally try to sell within Canada. I try to sell outside of it. But I'm going to use that free shipping Tuesdays for the next 3 Tuesdays. Because if we can save $50 a week, that's $200 in shipping that we don't have to charge out or we can put in our pocket. So,
well, last year, didn't they add in an extra week as a bonus because of all of the technical snafus?
Last year or 2 years ago, they made it. Well,
maybe it'll happen.
Last year, it actually, I think, fell over 5 Tuesdays because the way that the month actually fell, it was over 5 Tuesdays. I think the year before they actually added a Tuesday in because it was so badly screwed up with one day. But at least we got 4. Day 1 is down. And if you are in the West Coast, remember, you have to order based on East Coast time for your labels.
No,
that's the one
November
thing.
1st is a Tuesday.
Huh?
November 1st is a Tuesday. Keep your fingers crossed.
There were a lot of people having trouble getting on. We didn't have a problem at all. But thanks so much for watching us here. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Make sure you watch our other little videos if you can. Some of them are short. See us over on Thrifting with Two Dogs Digs on Instagram and TikTok, and at Craft on Facebook. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye.